for the 33. There's an inside handoff. Trayvon McMillan, he's off to the races. He's got a blocker downfield. He turns on the Jets, running at the 25, 20, 15, 10. He's hit from behind and hauled down inside the 5, and that's a gain of 63 yards. Montez turns, hands off. Trayvon McMillan, strike play to the right. He finds his seam, and he stumbles into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown, Colorado! And the Buffs are on the board here in Boulder.
Well, everything looked promising at that point in time. A 64-yard run by Trayvon McMillan. That set up a first down and goal to go from the 3. Next play, Trayvon found the end zone. Buffs are up 7-0, but that was it. 31-7, Colorado falls for the 5th consecutive game as they lose this ball game to number 10, Washington State here at Folsom Field. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson, Coach Gary Barnett. Second verse, same as the first for 5 weeks in a row.
It's feeling that way, Mark. I think that we had a tremendous defensive effort tonight. You know, they had a good game plan. They mixed it up. But for the most part, they stayed away from the long ball. They made them catch the ball in front of them. We did a better job of breaking on the ball, contesting the ball. We did a good job with pass lanes, forcing Minshew to try to run to the sideline and not be able to do it. We had a couple breakdowns, but overall, defensively, we had a plan and we executed well enough to have been in this game.
And by the way, the time of possession was unbelievably lopsided in this contest. That good defensive game plan, yes, but the Buffs defense had to stay out there for 42 minutes. You can't ask that side of the ball to do that.
No, I mean, they were still playing with 96 plays out there, and so, no, you can't do that. And, you know, you just had a letdown on offense and the inability to convert on third downs, some drop balls, and just not a complete game by this Buff team.
Those third down numbers the last few weeks have been concerning. The Buffaloes went 2 of 11 on third downs. That contributes. You can't keep the drive alive. You're off the field. You got to punt it, going 3 and out. Defense goes back out there. That's become an issue here the last 3 weeks.
Well, and it's most alarming because it's 3rd and medium and 3rd and short where they can't convert, and you've got to be able to do that. That generally comes down to offensive line play, being able to run the ball in short yards. Laviska's has been a big part of that earlier on, our success in the red zone and success on 3rd and short, but he's not healthy enough to be in that position. Yeah. He certainly didn't get back until tonight, so it's an issue.
Yeah, after missing him for a few weeks, almost a month, Laviska Shenault was back out there, had 10 receptions for 102 yards. It wasn't the same Laviska. He was still good, but not the same Laviska we'd seen earlier in the season. You know, back in 2001, Gary had a bunch of running backs. Cortlen Johnson was the guy out of all of them, ended up being all conference. He was here at the ball game. We caught up with Cortlen here at Folsom Field.
It's surreal. It brings back that game day atmosphere. It brings back that game day feeling of coming out the locker room and smelling the field, smelling the air, and just knowing that it's game time, man, and it's time to go, it's time to play. I wanted to bring my son up here to see this and let him experience what Dad went through and just understand what it means to be a Buff. I think about it every day, football season. Think about it. I still talk to a lot of my teammates. Daniel Graham, we're here for his Hall of Fame induction. We talk about this all the time. Our memories, the fun times we had, everything. I think that's big. We got to stay in touch just because for 4 years, almost 5 years, we were together every day. So because of that, you know, you build those bonds, you build those friendships, and with that, man, those guys weren't just my friends, they became my brothers. When you graduate high school, 17, 18 years old, 16 years old, and you come out here a fresh baby away from your mom and dad for the first time, you got to gravitate to somebody, and I gravitated to my teammates, I gravitated to my classmates, cell block, and because of that, man, those are my brothers still to this day. They've met my family, they're part of my family. A lot of people do pledges for fraternities. This was my fraternity, Colorado Buffalo football program. That's my guys. I love them to death. I love what this program, what this university did for me personally. It took a kid out of St. Louis, Missouri, and brought him into Boulder, Colorado, and it showed me the world. And I'll be forever grateful for that.
That was a great Buff. Well, you had all kinds of running backs on that 01 team, and that was the guy that ended up being all Big 12.
We had a stable, and everybody remembers Chris Brown and his great game against Nebraska, but Cortlen was so versatile out of the backfield. He was a great pass receiver. He was so good in the screen passes and running inside, and so we had 3 or 4 guys that we could throw at everybody, and Cortlen ends up being the one that's all conference.
Yeah, he was outstanding for the Buffaloes in 2001 when they won the Big 12 championship. Back to the Buffs game here, 31-7. Colorado falls to number 10 Washington State, sitting at 5-5 in the season, now 2-5 in Pac-12 conference play. When you're in this situation, you got to feel at some point as a staff, as a team, like you're underwater and you just can't get yourself out.
Well, you know, if you feel that way, then you're going to stay under there. Mm-hmm. I think what you start doing is just looking for ways to survive it, looking for ways to get out of it, and that's what you spend your time on, because if you spend any time worrying about being underwater, you're going to stay that underwater, as I said. So, you know, it's a great lesson and it's one of those things you learn in athletics, either coaching or playing or both. And if you haven't been a part of that, then you don't quite understand it. But it's such a great lesson in life is how to survive something like this, because lots of people can't, and lots of people don't experience until it is a it's a game ender for them. But no, that's what you do. You know that going in it could be like this. You don't ever expect it. You don't want it, but if you raise your team right, then somehow they'll find a way to rally.
In the last 2 years, the Buffaloes waiting or trying to win their bowl-eligible 6th victory, 0-8. Now that they're on 5 in a row, they went 0-3 in that circumstance last year. Doesn't get any easier. Utah comes in here next week, then you're at Cal the weekend after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's not easier. It gets harder in this conference, and everybody's about the same this year. And so it's a tough job. There's no question. But if there's no problems, there's no jobs either. So that's the way you got to approach it.
That's Coach Gary Barnett. Buffaloes fall 31-7 as they lose to number 10 Washington State here at Folsom Field. Coming up next, it was the regular season opener for the CU basketball team. We'll talk some hoops for the Buffaloes in just a moment here on the Stampede.
To get it, feeding the wing, Namon Wright. An early post bay gets Wright a clean look from distance. Right between the legs once and twice. Feeds Namon in the corner. Never stopped the basketball. He got all the way home with the
a flurry of three-pointers. In fact, 5 of them by this guy right here, Namon Wright, leading the Buffaloes in their season opener, 100-71. The Buffs knock off the Drake Bulldogs here at the CU Event Center. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson, the lone senior for the Colorado Buffaloes. It's a nice start to the season, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. You guys came out in this ball game, and I think I said to you in our radio post game, Namon, you looked like the game was coming to you, like you weren't forcing it in. You were feeling good and kind of a rhythm out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I was trying to let the game come to me. Not force it too much, just cut when I'm open and shoot when I'm open.
Yeah. When you're in a rhythm, can you feel it? Do you know before a ball game if the ball's going to be coming off your hand well?
No, not really. I didn't shoot too good in warm-ups, but, I just stay confident in my stroke. In practice, I'm shooting pretty well from the 3, so I know I can shoot. Just staying confident and guarding the ball. Usually defense leads to offense.
You know, this is the lone senior on this team this season. Ted Boyle's always said during his 9 years here, he expects more out of a guy that's senior. You've been around college basketball. Started his career at Missouri, transferred to CU, but you've been around, he's seen it all, and so he kind of puts more pressure on you, a little bit more responsibility, doesn't he?
Yeah, not just me. Last year, he put more pressure on George and Dom, and he put pressure on our seniors the year before that, and that's what he really does. He really does put more pressure on the seniors, and, that's is going to make, pressure makes diamonds. And, that's what I really believe in. Coach Boyle not only believing in us, but, making sure that he expects a lot out of us.
How about getting ready for your senior season? Did you approach things differently, the way you trained, the way you prepared, the way you got in the gym, knowing this is your final year of college basketball?
Yeah, making sure I'm working out a lot, working out with coaches, communicating with coaches. But, I had a little injury with my foot, so I had to bounce back for that. I wanted to get in the gym a little bit more, but, I had to take a little bit of time off. But now I'm back, and I'm feeling confident. So, yeah.
All right. This is Namon Wright. Of course, there's McKinley Wright. There's a show. It's sweeping the nation. It's the barbershop with the Wright brothers.
Man, where to start? To me, the best part of his game, the best aspect of his game is just his will. The sport word for it is he got a lot of dog in him. He got a lot of heart. Around this time last year, he was good, but now, this year he's just a totally different player, so he's going to be a really good leader for us, and he's going to make sure that guys got the same heart that he got on the court. That's going to be really key for us this year.
4 seconds left. Charging down floor. Three-pointer for Wright. Rolls it for the win, and he wins it.
It's good. Those rims was a little weak, and that one went in. But that's he knew he was going to hit it. So and that's what I mean by the heart.
Namon hit a lot of big shots for us last year. I remember the one against Arizona State.
McKinley Wright, up court, jump pass, right side. Namon Wright for 3. Right between the eyes from downtown. And the Buffs are within 2.
This summer, we all dedicated, the summer to improving the things we need to work on. And Namon's done a great job of improving his game. So.
Shot blocked by Walton. Up court, Collier. Give it off to Namon Wright. Elevates and slams with the right hand and the exclamation point.
Yeah, that's my favorite Namon moment. Towards the end of the game, he got the leak out, the dunk that really closed it. Had the fans going crazy. So that's what we need out of him. That was one of my favorite moments, and I was excited for him.
That thing should be on network television right there. The barbershop with the rapper. You like doing that with McKinley?
Yeah, it was so fun just talking about him and hyping him up and just telling the truth about him, So it was absolutely fun. Something new.
Is there a connection with him? Now, you know, in football, we talk about quarterbacks and receivers having a connection. In basketball, is there a connection with a point guard and then guys in the perimeter that, you know, are going to receive passes?
Yeah, absolutely. I think not only for wings but for bigs. You know, Dallas Walton's game started to evolve once McKinley Wright started finding him and on oops, and you see Dallas is a different player when he's playing with McKinley, and the same is for his wings. Cutting and Kinley is such a good point guard. He's not only going to be aggressive on the scoring end, but he's going to always have 5+ assists because he just sees the floor well.
And when you've got a guy that sees the floor like that, you got to be alert at all times because you never know when the ball's coming your way.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to, if the defender, you know, he's going to make the right read, basically. If the defender cuts him off, he's going to pass it. If he doesn't, he's going to finish.
What excited you about this team as you're working your way through fall camp, getting ready for the season? What excited you about this group? What did you see in this group you thought, okay, we got a chance here?
Just our balance. We got a lot of weapons offensively. We got a lot of new faces. We're just a special team. We haven't showed it yet. We're going to show it after, you know, 10 games plus, but we're just balanced. We got a lot of athleticism. We got a lot of shooting. We got a lot of size. We got a lot of special players.
Is there more responsibility for you rebounding? And you lose a guy like George King, who's a great rebounder. I know Tad's putting a little more responsibility on a guy like Tyler Bay. But on this team, Dallas isn't out there now with the knee injury, so you lose a 7-footer. More of an idea of, hey, we all got to rebound as a group?
Yeah, Coach Boyle, for me, he preaches to me, he wants me to guard. But for myself, I know that I have to rebound. We're losing George and, you know, some other big players. I know I have to rebound. You know, George averaged 7 rebounds throughout the year, which is remarkable. So, you know I just have to try my best to get in there and rebound and try to get 2 to 3 offensive rebounds a game. I know I'm a good defensive rebounder, but, you know, I have to pick it up offensively.
All right. Well, great way to start off the season. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Namon Wright, 25 points, 8 rebounds. Buffs 1-0 the season as they take care of the Drake Bulldogs 100-71. You know, last week we had the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies, and we caught up with one of the great players in Colorado history. Quarterback Kordell Stewart joins us next here in the Stampede.
3 wide outs at the top of the picture. Stewart with time. Lets it go. He's got 3 people down there. The ball's up in the air. Caught. Touchdown. Caught by Westbrook for a touchdown. Incredible.
It's the greatest play in college football history, the catch in 1994. This guy threw it. It was tipped by Blake Anderson. Michael Westbrook caught it. 110,000 people went silent in Michigan. Kordell Stewart, he's a Hall of Famer now here at the University of Colorado. How about that?
I tell you what, man, you know, it's reliving that.
Yeah.
The tone in which you had, and remember all the guys, I think it was Keith Jackson.
Keith Jackson was doing it, yeah.
The ball's up in the air, caught by Westbrook for a touchdown.
That's pretty good.
Incredible.
That's pretty good.
All I can remember is that every time I sit there and watch it. But, you know, that's a play that, you know, you go into the classrooms and you talk about it, Mark, and you try to get everybody in a perfect place. But I have to be honest with you. You know, to have Blake in the middle, to be a disruptor, to force guys to feel like they have to do more because they think Blake may catch it.
Right.
But then Blake forces someone. Matter of fact, the ball hits him in his face mask. If you watch it in slow motion, it hits him in his face mask. The ball goes up in the air, and then you have Ty Law, who's a future Hall of Famer.
A very good player, yes.
Yes, he's covering Michael all night, held Michael to just 1 touchdown, but yet Michael come back in the last moments to catch the catch, I would say, of the year, to beat that team in the big house. You know, those words, you can't really explain it in less than 2 minutes.
You know, that play obviously stands out in history. When you think, though, of your time here at the University of Colorado, what stands out for you?
Oh, my God. I mean, I can go back to even in that CSU game in the second half where I just I seemed like I was possessed and ended up throwing for 409 yards, 4 touchdowns, and broke the CU record for a quarterback and demolished it, basically. Moments like that are memories that I'll always have, to watching Rashawn even, you know, do some of the great things he did against Texas on the road in Texas. Rushing for, what, 315 or 316?
That's right.
Breaking a record. To see him get hoisted in the air by his offensive lineman against Iowa State, breaking the 2,000-yard mark.
Fantastic.
I mean, so there are a tremendous amount of high points through that year, but I think that one play alone pretty much set the tone, I think, for our team. And it wasn't done by just me. It was a collective effort by Rick Neuheisel, who was a big part of that. Bill McCartney, who stuck with it, who was a big part of that. Bob Simmons on defense.
Rashad always told me, too, he picked up a blitz that was coming at you, too. He said nobody remembers that.
Well, Price was coming off the edge because there was a 3-down front. Tony Birdie was on my backside.
Yeah.
Rashawn went to the backside. Tony Birdie hit him first. Rashawn got him second. Tony Birdie hit him again. Rashawn finished him. And Birdie kind of jumped on top. And lo and behold, that's what allowed me to get around the outside and elude that pressure. With a three-man front rushing on one play, you have a chance of a lifetime to get it done. And I thought Tony Birdie and Rashawn Salam, as he mentioned when talking to you about that, he made the block. I would say that was the block of that entire play that allowed it to happen, to where you saw number 19 running down the field excited. You saw, let's say, number 63 running down the field and Heath Irwin.
Yep.
I mean, you saw number 50 and Tony Birdie. You saw number 72. You saw number 81. I mean, I could go on with the guys. And Michael Westbrook that was going down the field. And Blake Anderson, number 5. You saw that little sweet feet number 10 guy running down the field too as well. So it was awesome.
So we talk about that play right there. And now you're holding your Hall of Fame induction trophy that you got. You're a Hall of Famer here at the University of Colorado. That's got to be special for you.
You know, I keep saying this is truly beyond me, to be honest. I mean, to have to walk on the grounds of all of the greatness that came through this institution well before my time, and to now do it and also see these youngsters trying to mimic and emulate that. It's wonderful. I had my son here tonight. He had a chance to see it and listen to it. And people say he's going to follow in your footsteps. I say, no, just be around him. You don't have to follow him. Just be around him. Because if you could be around him, hopefully it can rub off on you like it did for me with guys that was before me in high school, like the Darian Higgins before me here, to the Vance Joseph that filled in against Kansas here in the snowy game that we had when Darian got hurt and did a phenomenal job for us. That's what it really all about. And hopefully that can actually trickle down to all the other kids, players, as well as my son.
Amen. I know when you were up there at that podium talking to the crowd here for the induction ceremonies, you talked about the importance of coming back all those years later and getting your degree. Why was that important for you?
Well, I mean, it's all about finishing. You know, I mean, one thing, if you're talking about that play in Michigan, what did we do in that game? We finished.
Yeah, finished, yep.
We didn't play well in the first half. We had penalties against us, but we steadfast and we stayed strong, and it came down to one of the greatest plays in the history of the game, and that's what it's about. It's not about doing it the way everyone else says to do it. It's just if you can finish the task the way it is that you have to do it, and you complete it and you do it well, what more can you ask for? I got a degree. I got a Hall of Fame trophy here with Ralphie sitting on my left. I don't know which Ralph it is, but he's here with me.
It is Ralphie, and you're a Hall of Famer. Friend, good to see you.
Thank you so much, Mark.
All right. Kordell Stewart, one of the greats ever here at the University of Colorado, the play of the century in college football, and now he's a Hall of Famer. We'll take a time out here in the Stampede. Another Hall of Famer, Daniel Graham's going to join us next.
By Derek McCoy. Back goes Pescimento. Bobby's letting it go to the end zone. It's a touchdown! Pass completed to Daniel Graham. They come right back, 21 yards to the score.
62-36. Any questions? Who doesn't remember that catch by this guy? Now he's the University of Colorado Hall of Famer, tight end Daniel Graham in that great 2001 game. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson, back in the Stampede. How about this event here tonight? 11 folks going in, some of the best in CU history, and you're a Hall of Famer.
Oh, it's a great honor. You know, I'm proud to be in this group right here, and I got to talk to Kordell earlier, and I said, you know what, I was going to tell him, put me back a year. I don't deserve to go in with you. You know, I grew up watching him, and I was a big fan of his.
I bet you were, yeah. Hey, the play we just saw, the touchdown catch against Nebraska. I mean, there are moments in CU history. I've been here 15 years now. The championship, Kordell and the catch. You guys, 62-36. Any questions? You must get asked about that all the time.
You know, I do. And when people ask me a lot, what was my greatest football moment? And I tell them I was blessed to play in 2 Super Bowls, but nothing compares to when we beat Nebraska here my last year.
Wow.
Just the first 4 years, losing to them by almost a total of 10 points. And just to dominate them the way we did my last year is nothing better than that.
And it should be noted, by the way, this guy's come back and gotten your degrry, too. You and Kordell both did that.
Yes.
Later on.
I did have the record for the longest athlete to come back and graduate. Then Kordell broke it the next year.
You know, we talk about student athletes. Well, why was that important to you to come back and finally get that sheepskin?
You know, it was important to me because I promised my mother when I left CU that I would come back and get it.
Okay.
Just to set an example for my kids. You know, they can never say that I didn't graduate college. So just for them to show them, you know, it doesn't matter when you get it. Just go back and, you know, get that degree.
You know, it's interesting. You're talking about winning Super Bowls, but when you think back, the moments at CU stick out in your mind. Nate Solder and I had a conversation about that. He said the same thing. He said there's something different. The NFL's a business.
Yes.
When you think back to your time in college here at the University of Colorado, there was a brotherhood. You were playing it for the love of the game, those kind of things. That's different, isn't it?
It is, you know, and I was blessed to have, you know, my guys who I came in with to see you here tonight to join me with this. Victor Rogers, Jelani Bryant, Roman Hollowell, Cortlen Johnson, Justin Bannon. And,
right.
And for all those that didn't make it, who I came in, you know, we call ourselves the cell block, you know. I know they wish they could be here, but that brotherhood and that bond that we formed here at CU, it will never end.
Well, he was one of 11 inducted, in fact, last week here at the University of Colorado. Let's check in with a few of the other highlights.
The tradition that you've left behind, the legacy that you've created for our current student athletes is a barometer that we're trying to achieve every year, and it's really important to us, and we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't the foundation that you've set and the legacy and the tradition and the history that you've created.
I am truly blessed. I am honored. I am humbled to be now part of a new team, the Hall of Fame at the University of Colorado. Are you kidding me?
Without question, the most important individual in my life was Sox Wilson. I met him in 1962 when I visited the campus. And from that day until now, and even into the future, he will be my coach, my mentor, my guide, my friend.
The collegiate experience is something different. When you learn how to be a teammate and you learn what sacrifice is and you learn what team spirit is, and you know in college there's nothing like it. There just isn't.
I played with a group of guys that returned CU as a contender in the Big 8 Conference. Our group has always felt very proud of our role in this resurgence of CU football.
We all have a story about what it means to be a Buff, and each story carries its own weight and symbolizes the beauty of this university at the foothills of the Rocky Mountains.
Other memories that stand out: biking and walking to class through sunshine, rain, and snow, and watching weekend football games in support of our CU brothers. And of course, playing basketball in the old Balls Fieldhouse.
I think just having all of you guys here is a testament to the great experiences and the connections and the magic that really happen on the athletic teams here. So thank you so much for being here. You made my night.
Every minute that I've been around CU athletics has been a lot of fun. I'm just glad I was one who did. Go Buffs.
It was a great night. 11 inductees to the CU Athletic Hall of Fame, including Daniel Graham, as we continue. The Mackey Award winner, by the way, for the Buffaloes in 2001. This is a special place, University of Colorado. What is it for all you players? You come back, you said, this place was instrumental in making me who I am today.
You know, this is a great place, and just coming here to Colorado, this was probably the best choice I've made, you know, coming to this university. And, you know, it's just this atmosphere, you know, where it's located, you know, just everything about CU. You know, I have so many great memories that, you know, I formed with so many good friends here, and I just love this place.
You know, you think about CU football. 2016 was a great, great year for the Buffaloes. 2001 probably goes down as the last great team we had here at CU. Bobby Passavento and guys, Victor Rogers and I talked about that group. What was it about that team that made it special?
You know what, it was a bunch of guys that, you know, my senior class that got together and said, you know what, we're not going to accept anything less our senior year. And just to come in with that attitude, that mindset, our senior year, and Coach Barnett here, you know, guiding us, you know, to the Big 12 championship. It was a great group of guys, you know, who played for each other.
But it was a transition, wasn't it? Because you started under Rick Neuheisel.
Yes.
And then Gary comes in, and that's not always an easy transition. You and I have talked about that. Vic and I have talked about that. Bobby said the same thing. And you guys kind of galvanized, though, through kind of the trials of the transition of a new staff.
Yeah, it was tough, you know, when your coach leaves. And, you know, coming in as a high school player, you know, you think that coach is going to be there your entire year, but you understand, you know, this is, you know, business as, you know, well for the coaches. But it was tough, you know, when Coach Barnett came in here to CU to lead us. But you know what? We all fed into his program, and he did a great job of just leading us to the Big 12 championship my last year.
And how about this class you came in with? I mean, you talked about Kordell, but what are some players on that? Some athletes here?
Oh yeah, it was some great athletes here. You know, and I feel honored just to be a part of this, and you know, just to see a lot of the older guys who came in before me. It's great to, you know, see them finally get in.
Yeah. And by the way, he's going into the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame a little bit later on. Congratulations, friend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Danny Graham. He's a Hall of Famer here at the University of Colorado. It was a great evening to the 2018 induction classes. We put a wrap on this week's Buffalo Stampede. We'll talk to you next week.